So many a times whenever I have told people that you need to prepare according to the PYQs, they have literally mocked me, but UPSC don't repeat the question. So whenever I tell people how to attempt current affairs, how to study current affairs, many a times I get this question, oh, should I write down the notes? Should I take down the notes? But don't make notes. Handwriting is okayish, not too bad, not too great, but you can read it. It should be readable, it should be legible. That is the most important point. This is almost like you're repeating the same point, right? This could have been mentioned here. Person who is sitting there and reviewing your answer, correcting your answer, they are not your relative who will sit and try to figure out, okay, this is what the person is trying to figure out. See, when you write a sentence, it is not necessary that you have to make it as complicated. The idea here is when you see a topic, a familiar topic, introduction and conclusion should come out naturally. Hello everyone, welcome to OnlyIAS English YouTube channel. My name is Nikhil Ram. Some of you at least are aware that I am taking a comprehensive current affairs class at PW. The classes runs through Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. So what's the great deal about it? Obviously it's current affairs, detailed discussion, etc. is there. Apart from that, one additional feature what we have is answer reviewing. What you see here at least is some of the answers and the comments whatever I have given. Rewrite and resubmit. Start a new question in fresh page. Rewrite and resubmit. Keep writing. So some students at least have this doubt that am I the one who is really correcting it? Well, the best thing to do is what? Well, let's open an answer and see. For example, this particular question, Article 21. I had given this maybe close to 1 or 2 months ago because multiple Supreme Court rulings were coming with regard to Article 21 and it is a repeated question. So many a times whenever I have told people that you need to prepare according to the PYQs, they have literally mocked me, but UPSC don't repeat the question. Questions won't get repeated. There is no doubt about it. Topics are repeated. So how do you attempt it? So multiple times students have doubts like, sir, what should be our handwriting? How should we write? All these concerns are there. So let us get right into it. Does the right to clean environment entail legal regulation on burning crackers during Diwali? Discuss in the light of Article 21 of Indian Constitution and judgments of Apex in this regard, Apex Court in this regard. The previous year question from 2015. Now, $1 million question is this question relevant today in current scenario? Absolutely yes. So whenever I tell people how to attempt current affairs, how to study current affairs, many a times I get this question, oh, should I write down the notes? Should I take down the notes? You listen to the class, whosoever class it is, you listen to it. If you are having the PDF material with you, read the material, but don't make notes. Instead, what do you see is that particular topic, has it been asked in the previous years as a question? Even if once it has appeared, write it down. So this question, if you see, it is from 2015. But when you write the answer should have the latest judgments from 2025. Got the logic here? Question, let it be old, but ensure that your answer is having the latest updated facts and figures as far as the topic is concerned. Let us get right into it. So let us see how she has started it. If you look at it, Supreme Court in 2025 passed the regulations for using crackers during Diwali and also upheld Article 21, right to life and personal liberty of an individual. Now let me tell you, as much as possible, don't do this. It shows a lack of clarity and it doesn't look good for an answer. Handwriting is okayish, not too bad, not too great, but you can read it. It should be readable, it should be legible. That is the most important point. This is not a bad way to start, but yeah, let's get right a little more into it. So she has tried to use a flow chart. Issue in burning crackers increases the air pollution. Existing comma. Actually, it should have been existing air pollution. Existing should have come first, air pollution afterwards, but still okay. Meaning is understood. Noise pollution affects the elderly and the children. Air pollution, AQI above 400 in Delhi NCR region. This is what we really need. Proper fact. Air pollution will increase. How much it will increase? That everybody will write. By what value? Especially during those Diwali days, everywhere, not just in Delhi. Everywhere, even in Chennai, Mumbai, the air quality index just went up like anything. So that had to be mentioned, not just Delhi. All right. And again, if you see, this is almost like you're repeating the same point, right? This could have been mentioned here. Or under this point, the existing air pollution could have mentioned about Chennai and then Mumbai. Correct. Taking it further forward, fire hazards, hearing loss. Fire hazard and hearing loss, okay. Not a major point, but still okay. Health issues like respiratory disease, lung disease. A little difficult in this particular touchscreen. But data. How much? How many people actually got admitted in the hospital, especially during the Diwali season? Important. Right to clean environment entailing burning of crackers. Issue of Article 25 versus Article 21. Article 25 guaranteeing freedom of religion and Article 21 the right to clean environment. Okay, that's a pretty decent point. In MC Mehta case, very good. This is the case ruling what we want. Supreme Court upheld right to clean environment banning cracker burning. Now see, this is the problem. Should I read upheld? How should I read it? Supreme Court upheld banning right to clean environment. How should I read it? It becomes difficult. So always when you write, it should have clarity, people. It's very, very important. Person who is sitting there and reviewing your answer, correcting your answer, they are not your relative who will sit and try to figure out, okay, this is what the person is trying to figure out, or rather trying to communicate. Clear? Upholding and regulating religious rights. Again, too much of strikes back again. Individuals have their fundamental right to practice cultural activities, and 2018 Supreme Court ordered for the usage of green crackers and limited the area of usage. Okay, but that was the last year also. Apart from that, recently 2025 Supreme Court initially banned using cracker, but after proper studies allowed the usage of green cracker alone in NCR region. Very good. Developed by NEERI, which has 30% less noise pollution. The major contributing factor to air pollution mostly were the industries and transportation, which has to be regulated by balancing Article 25. Balancing Article 25. Article 25 is to do with actually religion mostly. But how do you balance it here? This is not about balance. The fact of the matter is, what should have been written here would be the real factors responsible for pollution. Statistically, there is no evidence to show that crackers are a major contributor for pollution. There is no evidence actually. Yes, existing pollution can be made worse. That is there. It is not that if we ban firecrackers completely, air will become suddenly clean. There will be no health issues at all. No, that is not the case. So what would have been preferred would be, because the question itself, if you see, discuss, it's a discuss question, discuss in the light of Article 21 of Indian Constitution and judgments of Apex Court in this regard. So within Article 21, when you talk about protecting life, etc., you should also mention about the diesel vehicles. You should also mention about the initiatives taken, the fact that construction activities also contribute to dust pollution. It is not just firecrackers, but it is worsened. Then you can talk about the dome effect, where the gases are trapped during winter season. There is no movement of air. Those are the reasons. Then Supreme Court's judgment along with it. How Supreme Court has said that 10-year-old vehicle or 15-year-old vehicle, those judgments, as well as trying to bring a blanket ban on firecrackers all over the country. How that we have to balance with Article 25. You can write it. It is not that you won't be able to write it. It is just that you need to plan out what you are going to write. So, coming down. Okay, that is the first question. This question actually requires a little more work. So, my verdict on this would be rewrite, resubmit. All right. Moving on. Let's see the next question. Examine the scope of fundamental rights in the light of latest judgments of Supreme Court on right to privacy. Again, A very repeated topic, not just in current affair, but even in UPSC. This was asked in 2017 for 15 marks. The Supreme Court in the case Puttaswamy judgment 2017 entailed right to privacy as a fundamental right under Article 21, right to life and personal liberty. Decent. A decent intro. Then right to life and personal liberty. Article 32, rich jurisdiction, fundamental rights, equality, dignity, protection from tyranny of state, freedom. Okay. Evolution towards right to privacy. Karak Singh versus State of UP. Again, KS Puttaswamy. Right to, this is a repeated point again. Don't try to do what you did for your graduation, repeating the same thing again and again. Because if you actually notice, this has already been mentioned here. Okay? Verbatim the same thing. And the question is, in the light of latest judgments of Supreme Court on right to privacy. Latest judgments, even observations also you can put over there. So let us bring it down. Proportionality. Our Supreme Court also added that privacy of an individual can be compromised for national security. Future additions to privacy, not future additions exactly. Post Puttaswamy judgment, you can say, or other additions to privacy, not exactly future. That wouldn't be a correct usage. Navtej Singh, homosexuality, that is all right. Right to be forgotten. Pegasus, in addition to Pegasus case, said that government can survey on the activities or privacy of anti-nationals. Structuring. The structuring is not right. See, when you write a sentence, it is not necessary that you have to make it as complicated. All that you have to write is, in Pegasus case, Supreme Court said that if you have nothing to hide, why you have to worry? And in where national security is a concern, it is okay if government is, what is wrong if government is indulging in surveillance? That's it. What is wrong if government is indulging in surveillance if it is a question on national security? This actually can surveil, it's, and first of all, surveil, even if it is a word, we'll have to see on the activities. Then challenges of right to privacy, increasing government surveillance and regulation. Just a minute. Yeah. Increasing government surveillance and regulation on digital activity. Okay. DPDP Act, challenge of securing data available online. Indians leaked Aadhaar on way forward, balance, individual privacy and data security. Fundamental right of privacy is the new age right to guard and ensure dignity and freedom of life. Increasing, first of all, this one point here. Digital personal data protection, can you actually call it as an right to violation of right to privacy? That actually forces the social media companies to protect your data. Fines can be imposed on these companies if the data of individuals are compromised. So, digital personal data protection bill, in terms of privacy, it is good. The controversy surrounding this act is that this act actually dilutes right to information act. That is the issue there. As a privacy concern, this act is good. So what it really requires is, and the recent judgment, see, AI threat, that is the main threat that should have been mentioned here. AI, that is what should have been mentioned, which has not been mentioned. Because we know Amitabh Bachchan, Salman Khan, Aishwarya Rai, Abhishek Bachchan, Chiranjeevi, these are names of some of the actors who approached the court to protect their personality. Personality is also my privacy. Personality is part of my privacy, right? So that should have been mentioned there. So goes without saying, even this answer also will be requiring. So that is the way that I review the answers. So this is, purpose is again Before a person actually goes for their prelims, they should be mains ready. That is the only purpose. So many of these people, their attempt is in 2027. Some are going to give it this year. So as much as possible, train them in answer writing so that answer writing will not be a challenge for them. Because the idea here is when you see a topic, a familiar topic, introduction and conclusion should come out naturally. Body with whatever existing content is there from current affairs, arm twist it according to the needs of the question. All right, people, put up your comments and let me know what do you think about it. God bless. Take care.